Hey guys, what's up? It's Isaac with the GTE Event Group and Kapptured, and today I have a special guest, Samantha. You know, Samantha's from Events by Samantha and also is the venue manager over at Seven Sycamores in Exeter?
Ivanhoe.
Ivanhoe. Okay, awesome. I wanted you to come in because we were talking over lunch one time and you went on a rant about bad DJ service or how you tell your couples all the time to use quality entertainment. And I remember stopping you for a couple reasons. One, it was unsolicited. You're like, we weren't even talking about DJs and you just did it on your own. And I remember thinking to myself, like, stop what you're saying. I want you to say it on camera. So I want you to, talk about some of the past experiences you had with bad DJs. But before you do, can you tell us how long you've been in the wedding industry?
Yeah, so I started managing Historic Seven Sycamores a little over 3 years ago. And that kind of like threw me in the mix. So if you don't know Seven Sycamores, it's a pretty popular wedding venue. So I see anything from 30 to 45 weddings a year. I did not start coordinating at first, but as I was watching people, I got to learn a lot, the do's and the don'ts, and kind of pick what I like from coordinators and what I didn't like. And then I kind of just threw myself in there. And so now I'm coordinating at the venue. And just this last year, I started coordinating elsewhere. So I wanted to get out of my little bubble and experience other venues, which has also been a learning experience because, you're used to your space and now you got to, figure it out somewhere else. But so I've been in the industry going on a little over 3 years now and can say that my advice definitely comes with experience. And when it comes to DJs, yeah, I'm kind of passionate about that because I've seen the DJ is the life of your party. Like, even as I'm doing tours, they haven't even booked us yet. And I'm like, okay, the next thing you got to do after venue is make sure you get a good DJ because that is the life of your party. And so, I'm a little bit passionate about it when I talk about DJs.
That's so cool. First, when you decided to become a wedding coordinator or planner or both?
So I do both. I mostly coordinate. That's kind of I prefer to coordinate because I can do it with like the back of my hand. Planning's a little different. You're in the trenches with them and it kind of is I guess not a gamble, but depending on your bride, how much they want to be hands-on and hands-off. I love to plan stuff, but I only do planning. I only say I do 2 a year because I do kind of immerse myself into their projects. So coordination is kind of my go-to though.
Got it. And did you get into coordinating because you were seeing other coordinators, when you were managing the venue and just thinking to yourself, like, I could do a better job than they can? Is that what kind of prompted you?
Well, I'm kind of a control freak, so I like to I like to be in control. Probably why I'm still single. But yeah, so I just would see things and I'm just like, you bite your tongue. I'm like, okay, let them do it. This is their show. And I was like, okay, I need to get in this and do it myself. But I don't know if you knew this before, but I was a cop for 7 years. So I'm used to coming on scene and kind of taking control and being a leader. And that's kind of just comes natural to me. So coordinating, I know we're all working together, but at the end of the day, it's my timeline and I'm running the show. So I like that.
Very cool. All right. So with that being said, talk to us about some of the bad experiences you've had working with entertainment.
I'm like, where do I start? When you sent me that question, I was like, oh my gosh, I've seen so many. I would say,
what is the number one thing that comes to mind? What is the worst wedding because of the entertainment?
I would say not worse, but my biggest pet peeve, I guess I would go in that direction, is a DJ having zero personality and not vibing with the crowd. There's a lot of dead space. I've had DJs literally read what's on my timeline. Okay, now we're going to do toast. Mom, you are first on the list. I've legit seen that. And nobody wants that for their wedding. They're paying thousands of dollars for this guy to do what I'm like, I could have did that, or so, someone could have done that. I think that, and then I also kind of want to talk about everyone trying to I have a cousin that DJs, or have someone that does sound at a church somewhere. I'm just like, oh Lord, okay, well, let me explain to you why that's a horrible idea. And so, yeah, I've seen the friend thing is, it should be pretty obvious why you shouldn't. I get it. People are trying to save a buck. But at the end of the day, like, they are your family. They're your friends. So I've had to go and get them from the bar. Like, okay, we're supposed to be doing toast now, or grand entrance. Like, come in, and it's.
Do the clients truly understand what they're sacrificing by going with someone that doesn't specialize in weddings? Do you feel like they truly get it when you tell them?
That's why I was telling you, like, during the tours, because after they book with us, I'm kind of like hands off until we start having meetings, or they already have vendors in mind, or I try to really emphasize that as even before I'm their coordinator, that picking a DJ or trying to go cheap on a DJ, it needs to be really thought out, because it could really ruin your whole party.
And then for those who have went the cheap route, do you feel like how many do you feel regretted it while the event's actually happening and realized like, oh my gosh, I made a mistake, but it's too late. There's nothing I could do about it now.
Yeah, so I actually had a couple about 2 years ago, and they hired their friend to do it. It was actually a friend of a friend to do it. And he was the one where I was like, okay, we need to do toast. Where is he at? And go and grab him. And he's like, I don't know how many drinks down, but his eyes are all glazed over. And the bride, like, she was almost in tears. She was so frustrated because it was like that all day long, us trying to get him to do his job. And he didn't feel like it was a job, because he's probably feels like he's doing them a favor or wants to enjoy the day too. So, but she was so frustrated. I remember the groom was like snapping his fingers at him because he was so mad, like, get over here. And it really ruined the experience for them, I feel. So, yeah, that was the worst. That's when I was like, okay, we need to close off our DJ list or have it so that we have to approve them beforehand, because it really is important.
I didn't know you guys did that. You guys you have to approve the DJs?
Yeah, so we have in our contracts that if you don't get them from our preferred vendor list, we do have to approve your DJ.
Okay. What are the can't believe requirements? I was like, what?
Yeah, so I kind of like, they'll tell me who it is, and I'll kind of like look on their, for me, Instagram presence is kind of a big thing. How many shows have they done? Like, and then talk to them, obviously. So we'll have a phone meeting, and I'll kind of go over like their experience.
Do you guys require the vendors to have a business license or insurance?
Yes. I probably should be asking for that more, but I feel like once I've already looked them up, I can kind of vibe on if I need to ask that question or not.
I feel like, that question about insurance, just because a DJ or a DJ company has it doesn't make them good. But at least there's a good chance that they thought of running it properly.
Right.
So if they invested the time and money to get the insurance, I'm almost positive they invested a little bit of time and educating themselves on how a wedding should go, and how to prepare for a wedding.
Yeah, and then they take their business serious for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a bride's mom, because they hired him, wanting to sue a DJ company before. They were that upset.
Is this a different story?
This is a different couple, yeah.
So what happened?
So that one, interesting. It was half the family like spoke Spanish and half the family spoke English, and so they wanted a bilingual DJ. Well, they hired a DJ company, obviously only spoke to the owner and had never spoke to the DJ they were going to actually send out. Met him that day, and poor guy, sweet guy, he had a good, like, when open dance floor was open, like, whatever, it was cool, but like to do all the formalities throughout, you couldn't understand a single thing he said. So his accent was so thick.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, so I remember he was trying to explain the anniversary dance to the group, and nobody knew what he was saying. The bride's mom went up there, grabbed the mic, and did it herself because that's how frustrated she was. She was like, because nobody was going up because nobody understood what he had such a thick accent. So that's not meeting your DJ beforehand. That's insane. I didn't coordinate that one, so I didn't know that was happening. But yeah, that was insane.
So how did you know they wanted to sue?
Oh, they called me after. Yeah, they wanted to get my statement about it. And then I got a couple phone calls from the owner and from the actual DJ himself. So that put me in a weird position. But
What came of it? Do you know?
I don't know. I try to stay out of it.
Okay, yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah, but that was pretty rough.
So they booked a DJ company. Did they know that whoever they talked with wasn't going to be their DJ? Do you know that?
I don't know if that was the case. I think from what I remember, they just knew a bilingual DJ was going to come out, and I don't think they knew who I was. Yeah.
Did it that?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Let me see what other questions I have for you. All right, I like this question. From your perspective, as both a venue manager and wedding planner, what qualities separate a great wedding DJ from just a DJ?
Well, it's like driving a Mercedes and then driving a 1990 Honda. We were just talking about cars. But yeah, you don't know unless you're in it and you see the difference, I feel. Like, if you've never been to a good wedding or seen a good DJ, you probably don't know the difference. We're like, oh, this is fine. We're getting by, or the music. He played some hitters at open dance floor, I guess. But then when you have a good DJ who's interacting with the crowd, who's getting people up and, like taking initiative and is the life of the party, that's definitely the difference between a bad DJ and a good DJ, for sure.
So I have a question for you. When DJ companies get larger, do you feel like their quality starts lacking?
I get nervous about it because, you work with the same people kind of, and you're like, oh, GTE's coming out and we're going to get who, so-and-so. But like sometimes when they get bigger and they start, they send a guy out that you never met before, I get a little nervous about it, I guess, until I see them.
Yeah, with good reason. I mean, you have so many horror stories.
Yeah.
Do we make you feel that way?
No, never. I've never, and I will tell them. So whenever our couples come and they're like, okay, well, when I'm telling them about it's important for DJ, they're like, well, then who do we go to? And I'll, give them and you guys are always one of them. So, yeah.
Oh, you know what? Whoever you give out, it's not just use GTE. There is some other good companies out there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it took a while for the Valley to actually come up with some good companies other than GTE Event Group.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel in a roundabout way we kind of paved the way, but yeah, so feel free to say whatever DJ company you want to recommend, because I do got a lot of love and respect for some of the other companies out there.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure you knew that.
Yeah.
At the same time, I also want to make sure that we don't make anyone feel a certain way. When people say, "Oh, GTE's coming out," or "GTE's setting up one of their DJs."
Mm-hmm.
If you don't mind me asking, like, what is some of the cool things that you like about the DJs that you work with?
I think vibing with them. I think when your vendor team in general vibes with each other is a huge thing. So I don't like to always say I want to work with the same people, but when you do work with them often, you're all vibing together. So yeah.
Okay, sounds cool. Let me see here. There was another question I wanted to ask you. What advice would you give to couples who are currently choosing a DJ for their wedding, and what should they ask for?
I would definitely have a consultation where you're either meeting in person or Zoom, so you know what you're getting. Definitely asking are you the person that's going to be coming out? Or I really think it's important to talk to the person who's coming out, because you might, I might be sold talking to Isaac, but then you send out Joe Schmo over here, and I'm like, oh, well, I already booked you guys though, and I have this guy. So definitely making sure you're knowing who's coming out beforehand and that you vibe with them, because, this person might be someone else's cup of tea, might not be yours though. So definitely making sure you vibe with them. Um, and also, you get what you pay for. It might sound like a cliche, but it's true. So that's for any vendor, really. You can go get some cheap tacos, but is it going to be, gourmet meal? Is it gonna, there's a total difference. So
It's an experience.
yeah.
I don't want to miss out on the experience.
Yeah, so you definitely get what you pay for sure. Is there like a random DJ that might be good who's just starting out? Who knows? But it's definitely a gamble, and you don't want to gamble that on your wedding day. So go with someone who has a good reputation that you vibe with, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
I want to add a little bit to that, especially what you said. Before I had a reputation, I don't, and social media was what it was today. And I didn't really start utilizing social media until maybe a year ago or so. But anyways, I was that DJ that you were talking about. I was that one that if you knew who I was, you wanted to get me because I didn't know how to charge for my services. And at the same time, I wasn't just a phenomenal DJ. I was actually studying and learning how to take my talent and utilize it specifically for the wedding industry. So maybe.
I think that's when it comes to, it's just a job, or it's a passion. So that goes with any job, and you'll notice that with vendors or anyone running a business. Is it just a thing to make income, or is it this person has a passion for their business? So yeah, when you have a passion for it, you want to learn more about it and dig deep into it. So yeah.
Is there anything specific about GTE that you just like, or that you think of?
Definitely the vibe. So whenever you guys come in, it's always a good time. So yeah.
Appreciate that. And we want to invite everyone in. We tell people all the time too. When they shop for entertainment, the first question is, how much do you guys cost? Realistically, I understand that's an important question, but I think that people should go in or go talk to the person and then bring up that question of cost while they're talking to that person, because that's when I think you understand the full value of what you get.
Yeah.
I have met people. We own Kapptured, right? So we'll get someone who has booked our photography company. They might come and visit one of our offices, and they're like, whoa, what is this studio? What is, it's a vibe, like you said, right? And then, one of the guys was like, oh yeah, well, GTE and Kapptured, they're sister companies. And then people start, wow, I think they kind of realize, well, did we get a good DJ company? And then they ask us questions, or worse, they ask them questions. And there's a lot of DJs out there that are not good. There's a lot of companies that, in our opinion, aren't ran correctly or scary to book. And when they ask them, hey, what do you know about our DJ company, the one that we booked? They find themselves in an awkward position of I don't know, even though they do them. So anyways, the other cool thing is this, Sam, is because I also own Kapptured, the footage that we get of other DJs.
Oh, yeah.
Their performances.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool, because once in a while we could pull out, he might say, hey, Isaac, check out what, so-and-so did. And I was like, yo, that was dope.
Yeah.
But most of the time that does not happen. It's the opposite. It's check this out. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I think that's the benefit, too, of me managing Historic 7 Sycamores. As a coordinator, I get to see other people come in there and how they do things and pick and choose what I like from it or get new ideas. So, yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, you know what? Congratulations to your new venture of being a wedding coordinator. Taking on a couple planning, events throughout the year.
Yeah.
We wish you most success. I don't have any more questions other than I thank you for your time and just trying to help others make sure they have a great time by not choosing the wrong entertainment.
Yeah.
And that's, go for it.
And that's what it's about, right? I'm not here trying to sell you GTE or trying to get something out of it. I think I can speak for both of us. We want our couples to have the best day. Like that's the main goal. And we don't want we don't want your day to be ruined with a bad DJ experience or any vendor experience really. So that's kind of the whole reason for this. Like,
Absolutely.
there's nothing behind it. It's just
education. Things that I think we're very fortunate to be in the wedding industry. But if we weren't and we were to get married again, the knowledge that we have would almost ensure that our day goes so cool.
yeah.
And then when people walk away from our day, would be like, that was a vibe, that was a party. It was just like it couldn't have been better. And I feel like that's what we deliver for our clients.
Yeah.
That feel,
Right.
in my opinion, is priceless.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Samantha, they want to get a hold of you. How do they do that?
Yeah, so I do have an Instagram. I'm most active on there, so follow me at events.by.samantha. You can DM me on there, and there's also a way to send me an email or even get a price quote. So yeah, that's probably the best way.
Awesome. Well, with that being said, I think a cheers is in order.
Cheers.
Once again, happy birthday. Thank you for joining me.
You.
All right, salute.